Kids as young as 8 are committing crimes across New Orleans, and hundreds are getting arrested every year.
Some believe there's a simple solution to the problem that's affecting so many lives. Natasha Robin has this special Crimetracker investigation, Young Guns.
Sometimes students think that it's not the cool thing to do.
The young men of a Son of a Saint Foundation are getting a lesson in life.
Expand my vocabulary.
That's going to help you be a better business person.
Their lives have taken twists and turns some couldn't imagine.
It's to stop getting academic referrals.
That's one thing that can make you do better in the classroom.
But they found each other through this mentoring program.
Not get in trouble.
And if you do your schoolwork, you won't get in trouble.
You know, a lot of these boys who go through trauma and, you know, there needs to be a lot of love and understanding and compassion for them. To be honest with you, I mean, with us, we focus on boys, preventative measures, so boys start at age 10.
Son of a Saint founder and director Vivian Sonny Lee says young black men in New Orleans are the most vulnerable. Lee got his own reminder of that when he says teens stole the foundation's Ford F-150 from behind their office building last month.
It was about 4 o'clock, and I noticed that it was gone. My assistant had actually went to go deliver some paperwork, get some checks signed, and when he came back, I'm not sure if he locked the door or not, but it was found stolen.
The truck had Son of a Saint logos on it and a license plate that said Mentors. Within 24 hours, Lee says people began spotting the stolen truck around the city.
My whole concern also was for the boys that had stole the vehicle, and we know there were boys because people spotted black males in the truck, probably around 17 to 19 years old.
Eventually, the truck was found abandoned in a St. Claude neighborhood.
The back window was shattered. It had a rock through it. They cut up the seats. We're obviously doing some drugs in there. Banged up the side of the car.
There were no signs of the suspects.
For me, I understand that hurt people, and I'm assuming that these boys have had some trauma in their lives just from the work that we do with Son of a Saint, just knowing this.
The sheer number of juvenile arrests each year for crimes like theft, aggravated battery, and even armed robbery is sobering. Fox 8 reviewed and analyzed 6 years of preliminary data on NOPD arrests showing the ages and genders of arrestees. From 2011 through last year, police made 15,548 juvenile arrests.
The typical juvenile offender is the person who is being a little mischievous, perhaps with another group of juveniles who are committing some mischievous offenses, not necessarily always violent crime, but participating in crimes of opportunity.
Chief Michael Harrison says the typical juvenile offender is arrested for pulling on car door handles and burglarizing vehicles.
We believe that those who are participating in very brazen offenses like armed robbery and gun violence and shootings, we believe that that's very adult behavior, which takes a very adult mindset because you kind of know what's going to happen to the person you shoot.
More juveniles are arrested every year for battery than any other violent crime. Last year, police made 132 battery and assault arrests of juveniles between 8 and 13 years old. The number of arrests involving juveniles between 14 and 16 years old dramatically increased to 360 arrests.
Batteries and assaults are usually arguments that they have with one another, or kids from opposing schools or different neighborhoods. They don't have good conflict resolution skills, and so that's how they solve their conflicts.
Chief Harrison agrees if a juvenile offender is not caught or rehabilitated in some way, he or she will likely offend again. The next time, it may be a more serious offense.
But they get emboldened, and then they become very brazen and graduate to other things like robbery.
People who live in the Garden District were shocked earlier this year when a pair of 12-year-olds pulled out a gun and forced a man to his knees before he handed over the money.
It's made me scared to death. It really has. And I'm literally afraid to go in my garden.
Of the 4,897 robbery arrests across New Orleans in the past 6 years, about 14% of them were juvenile offenders. Last year, 68 robbery arrests involved juveniles between 8 and 13 years old. and 92 juveniles between 14 and 16 years old. Gun violence can lead to more than just armed robbery. Police sometimes investigate murders and shootings that involve children as young as 14.
They go on social media and certainly they post pictures of themselves with firearms and making threats to people over social media and in person. And then we see the actual shootings.
From 2011 till 2013, police made 20 murder arrests of juveniles between the ages of 14 and 16 years old. In the past 3 years, police made 4 juvenile murder arrests in the same age group. In all categories, juvenile arrests overall have shown a downward trend over the past 6 years.
Do you think that there are less juveniles committing crimes, or do you think that less arrests are being made? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both. There very well could be fewer juveniles committing crime, but by the same token, fewer juveniles that are being caught, along with the NOPD's capacity to respond to it in real time and investigate it real time, because in 2011 we had a much larger department than we have right now.
Kids are going to commit crimes until they're caught. A lot of times they're crying out. They don't know where to put this anger and anxiety.
You gotta pay attention, all right? Each group should have a ball.
Of the 50 boys involved in the Son of a Saint Foundation, none of them have been arrested since entering the program. It's something Sonny Lee takes great pride in.
And these are boys who have lost their fathers, some of them just to natural death, some to incarceration, some to violence, a lot of them to violence.
Come to this spot now. Come to the front.
He says each member is supported in every possible way so they don't fall back into the system.
You know, it costs over $400 a day for a young man in prison, juvenile, per day, and those resources could go to organizations like ours. It's really, for me, it's hard for me to understand why more isn't done.
How many you can make in a row? How many you can make? That's 4.
Lee says besides more programs, more people should volunteer their time to help these juveniles make better choices in the future.
I mean, we're really doing government's work, to be honest with you. And it just, honestly, our truck being stolen really just shows me how much we need programs like Son of a Saint to help more boys.
He believes the solution is pretty simple. Help the younger generation to become better people.
You obviously have young people who have had trauma. We know that hurt people hurt people. There's mental health disorders. It's very simple to me. And the way to support that is by preventative measures so that people who have experienced that don't experience it in the future, and that's how you cut the cycle of this crime.
Natasha Robin, Fox 8 News.
Sonny Lee says if the young men who stole his truck are ever caught, he'd like to talk to them about the choices they're making.